Okay, ask.
I had been nothing but mind. Swami has been guiding me for 7 years, and only now I understand that I should listen to Swami instead of myself, because listening to Swami means listening to God or consciousness, but listening to myself means listening to rotten conditionings. Why does it take so much time to see that I am nothing but mind and conditionings?
Okay, now read in parts.
I had been nothing but mind.
This is the story of everyone. If you were already knowing that you are pure consciousness, then you are already a Buddha. So everyone believes that he is whatever is the content of the mind, the way you have been conditioned and programmed. You believe you are that. If this belief disappear, then you will realize what is your real nature. But this is also a small revelation that now you have at least accepted that you are nothing but the mind. If you have the real desire, the real burning desire to know yourself, then you can go beyond mind. So now the real journey can begin. Otherwise you are moving just in circle.
Swami has been guiding me for 7 years.
7 years is a good time. In 7 years, changes happen in your physiology and psychology. In 7 years, it is said that your whole body renews itself totally. And we have 7 chakras also. So, if you grow according to nature, in every 7 years, you will become more and more mature. It is said that if you have lived rightly, at the age of 42, you will be interested in nothing else other than knowing yourself. At the age of 42, for a normal person, if he has lived rightly, spirituality will become the very center of his life. Everything else will fade into periphery, not having much importance. If you have really grown up, if you have become really mature, 42 is the age, but we live in a very wrong society which helps us not at all in any way to grow. We are growing in age but not growing up. It is wrong to say that you are growing up. It is just we are becoming old, moving towards the grave.
And only now I understand that I should listen to Swami instead of myself.
This is a right attitude. This is right understanding. Listening to me, you will be listening to your own very depth, your own center. Otherwise, you are lost in samsar, whatever you want to say. That is a circular movement. You are reaching nowhere. It is merry-go-round. You are caught in the vicious circle. So stop listening to yourself, because whatever you call yourself is nothing but your conditioning, your programmed mind, which will not help you in any way to grow. If you want to grow, support has to come from outside, and then you have to listen to that, not to yourself.
Because listening to Swami means listening to God or consciousness.
God or consciousness or your real nature, all are same. Consciousness is God, and your real nature is that of godliness. So if you listen to the consciousness, then only you are listening to God. If you are listening to your so-called yourself, you are listening to darkness, you are listening to ignorance. You are listening to your own suffering and misery. The need of the external outside guru is only as long as you have not found your own guru. Then the difference disappears. There is only one consciousness. There is no division there. It is not divided anywhere. That is called Advait, non-dual. There is no two. What Kabir said, Prem gali ati sakri, ta mein do na samaye. The lane of love is very narrow, in which two cannot enter. Only when the duality, the two-ness disappear, you will realize who you are.
But listening to myself means listening to rotten conditionings.
So stop listening to rotten tomatoes and rotten eggs. But the conditioning is very deep. For a while you may feel that you have understood, but you will fall again and again and again in the same ditches. That's why arduous effort is needed. Until and unless you have removed all the barriers, all the obstacles, until and unless you are free from conditioning, what the unconscious society gave you, you are caught in the net. You are a pashu. The Hindi and Sanskrit word for animal is pashu. Pashu means one who is bound by a rope or who's caught in the net. So animals or pashu, they have no possibility to be liberated in their body. So this human body is really very rare. After, in India they say after passing through 84,000 yonis, that means womb, you get this human body. Even in India they say, even the Devtas, the angels, they desire this human body, because even the angels cannot be liberated. They may be in paradise, they may be lost in pleasure, but if they want liberation, if they want freedom from both pleasure and pain, if they want moksha, then they will have to take this human body. I don't know whether I told you the right, I translated it correctly or not, but in Hindi it is called 84 lakhs yonis. You can calculate later. Okay, read more.
Okay, why does it take so much time to see that I am nothing but mind and conditionings?
Just wait. 8.4 million yonis. Okay?
Okay.
Now you should learn what is lakh crore, so that I don't need to translate all the time. At least learn this much.
Okay.
Okay, now read.
Why does it take so much time to see that I am nothing but mind and conditionings?
It will take time because you have passed through 84 lakhs yonis. You have been stone, you have been animal, you have been trees. That is your unconscious. And unconscious is very deep, it is very dark. Until and unless the light of consciousness enters into every corner of your being, you cannot be free from conditioning. And when a person is so much in hurry, it will take more and more time. In your hand is to make effort. The fruit is in the hand of existence. When you will become mature enough, the fruit will come. But if when a person is impatient, then it will take more time. And people who are enlightened, people like Osho, they say that eternity is available. But that doesn't mean that you have to go on postponing. If you don't make the effort, if you don't desire it wholeheartedly, then even if eternity is available, you will not grow even a single inch. Because once you have become human being, then whatever your growth cannot happen automatically. It cannot happen without your effort. Before you were human being, everything was just happening. But once you have become human being, then until and unless you deserve something, you will not get it. If you want to know yourself, if you want to grow, then you will have to make all the effort. The desire has to be there to go on transcending the barriers and obstacles. If the will is not there, nothing is going to happen. You will remain an animal in the human body.
The question is finished, Swami.
You ask the other one.
Okay. Another question is about Meera and Krishna. From what I understood, Meera was so infatuated with Krishna, her consciousness becomes Krishna's consciousness. But if all consciousness are one, why there is a merging?
Now ask in parts.
Another question is about Meera and Krishna.
This is not question.
From what I understood, Meera was so infatuated with Krishna.
This is the understanding coming from the left brain. This is an intellectual understanding. And intellectual understanding is no understanding. What you said?
From what I understood, Meera was so infatuated with Krishna.
So infatuated.
So infatuated.
You are infatuated, others are infatuated. She was moving from love to still greater love. She was not infatuated. She was moving from purity to even more purity. It is said about Meera that she was one of the gopis at the time of Krishna. Her name was Lalita at that time. So I don't remember the story exactly, but maybe the Krishna promised her that after many hundreds of years I will be available to you and then you will be liberated. So maybe little bit of her journey remained incomplete, so she has to take that birth. But from the very beginnings, since she was just a small child, once a wandering sadhu came to her house when she was just less than maybe 4 or 5 years old, or even less, perhaps 4-year-old. I don't remember exactly. A sadhu came, a very famous Krishna Bhakt. I don't remember his name. So he had a statue, an image of Krishna. And when Meera saw it, she said that I want this one. But the sadhu was not willing to part it. He used to worship that image. So Meera dropped eating food and drinking water. Sadhu left her home. She was a daughter of a king. But somewhere, maybe in the night time while he was sleeping, Krishna appeared in his dream and he said that it belongs to Meera. You were just a protector of it. Now to whom it belonged, the right person is there, so now you have to give it to her. She is the real owner of this statue. So the sadhu became really startled. He rushed from that place wherever he had reached to the place where Meera was living. And he gave that statue to Meera. That Krishna appeared in my dream and he said, she is the real owner of that statue, so take it, it is yours. Only after receiving this statue she ate or she drank water. Though she was being told by her mother and others that they were saying her, eat and drink, we will bring you another one. What is in that statue? We can bring any far better than that. But she said, I want only that one. Maybe there was some connection with that. So, though everyone was trying to cajole her to make her accept to eat and drink, but she didn't agree until and unless she got that statue. So at that age, it was not something childish. She had certain connection with that statue, and Krishna himself appeared in the dream of that sadhu. So consciousness can never die. That's why it is called Krishna's consciousness. If you are in that space, you will get connected to him even now. Thousands of years of wall will drop if you are the right person, if you become receptive, if you are welcoming. It is said that she has a deja vu seeing that statue. I don't know whether the statue was the same one which she had earlier ever, but maybe there was certain thing which was connected to Krishna and herself. And from the very beginning, she had only one love, and that was for Krishna. That cannot happen. No child can be so mature. We are so scattered, we are so divided. Until and unless she was so mature, maybe she remembered her past sanskara very well, so she had no other desire. Maybe even before that, or maybe when the sadhu came, I don't remember exactly, or when she saw some marriage ceremony, she asked her mother, who is my husband? Because when she saw a bridegroom in a marriage, she asked her mother, who is my husband? And the mother was just avoiding her, but she was stubborn. She said, who is my husband? The mother, just to get rid of her question, she said that, showing the statue or image of Krishna, he is your husband. So since then she had no doubt. Maybe she had all the remembrance of Krishna. And when you are a very sattvic person, when you are a very pure person, when you have in your past lives earned that, when you have deserved it, when you have attained something, when you have purified yourself to very high level, then nothing will attract you. You cannot fall in lust, you cannot fall in greed. So she was very matured from the very beginning, very advanced soul. So there is no question of infatuation. Infatuation is out of ignorance. She was pure love and she became purer and purer. She was just love and nothing else. She was one of the greatest miracles that has ever happened on this earth. Even her name, the very word Meera, is so mystical, is so powerful. But if you try to understand these things from your logical left brain, you will fail miserably. So she was not at all infatuated. Read.
Her consciousness becomes Krishna's consciousness.
If her consciousness remains, then there is no chance of it becoming Krishna's consciousness. She has to die as an ego. She has to disappear for Krishna to appear. She has to annihilate herself totally. If she is not emptying that place, Krishna's consciousness cannot enter. What Gorakh say, maro, maro hi jogi maro, maro maran hai meetha. Ih marni maro, jih marni Gorakh. Meetha, something like that. That means, O yogi, die. This death is very sweet. Die the way Gorakh died. Gorakh was also a great mystic. If you die the way Gorakh died, then you will realize your true nature. So until and unless you vacate the place, Krishna cannot enter. There is no two consciousness. Krishna means your ultimate possibility, your purest state, consciousness in its purest state. But consciousness cannot be purified. Consciousness is already perfect. It is already totally purified. Because you are identified with your mind, your conditioning, your thoughts, your emotions, your mood, your body. You have become a body. You have become your thinking process. You have become your emotion. All those things have to be discarded. Then only all those things have to be given up. Only then you will know what is your reality. The way of Meera is of the feeling, it is not of thinking. She is not like people who are on the path of meditation. They are in search of who am I. But the deeper they go, they will find there is no I. There is no ego. The I is stronger. The more you are in ignorance, the more you are identified with this substitute self, the ego. This is just body identification. When a man begins his journey, when he starts searching who am I, first he is identified with this I. Then when you go deeper within yourself, then the I start disappearing. I start becoming fainter and fainter. Amness takes its place. I is discarded, amness is there. I am. And when you go even more deeper into it, then you will find that the amness is also replaced by isness. So first is ego, then the second thing it is said in Sanskrit is called asmita. That means this sense of I am, amness. Then when you go even more deeper into it, then amness becomes isness. Asmita is in a way subtle ego, very subtle. You have refined it more and more. So, and then when you go even more deeper, this isness start becoming slowly nothingness. Then you are like you are not. So once you are not, only then God can enter into you. That is Krishna's consciousness.
But if all consciousness are one, why there is a merging?
Now you are yourself contradicting. If all consciousness is one, you have said is one.
Yes.
There is no all consciousness, there is only one consciousness. All means there are so many consciousness. There is only one consciousness. But to know that consciousness, your personality has to disappear. You will have to disappear as an ego. Only when your impurity disappears totally, the merging can happen. It is better to say melting. So slowly Meera melted and Krishna appeared. Only Krishna remained. There is a story also when finally she was offered poison in her palace. She took it very lovingly and nothing, even poison could not kill her. Then she left that palace. She said that now this place is not good for me. For me it is not good. It is a kind of prison. I need to be in the open sky. Only then I will become united with my beloved. So she went to certain place, I think, perhaps Dwarka or anywhere else. I don't remember these things very well. That is a place where Krishna used to live. So finally her family members and people in her kingdom realized that they have ill-treated her. And they went, all of them, her whole kingdom, all the people, they came to take her back. They asked for her forgiveness, and they said that we have come to take, you will have to come with us. You cannot say no. She said, okay, I will first take permission of Krishna. So she went into the temple, closed the door. And entered into Samadhi. When for many hours she didn't open the door. Then they broke the doors, everyone entered. The story may be just symbolic, and it is possible you can become so pure that your material existence is almost not there. Your whole chemistry can change you. You can become just like feather, almost not at all physical. But it is said that she disappeared totally into the Krishna statue. Nothing remained of her. Only just the border of her sari was there. I don't know whether it can happen or not, but one can disappear totally. Once you have no desire to be in any form, you become one with your beloved. Then there is no birth for you. You are liberated. So her journey in this earth was complete. So that was the real merger. That was the real union. She became one with Krishna totally. She disappeared totally as a person. Only the presence remained, and that presence is Krishna's consciousness. So when they opened the door, nothing of her was found, only just little bit of the border of her sari was there. That may be just symbolic, just a story, because we understand only the language of matter, only the language of body, the language of physical language. So just to indicate to people who are gross that she disappeared, her body disappeared totally into Krishna's statue. Her being just became one with Krishna. There was no separation. But how to tell it to those people who cannot understand deeper mysteries of life? So the story is that her whole body disappeared. Only just a very small part of it remained for you to relate to her. It is said about Kabir also, because for Kabir, no one knew whether he was a Muslim or a Hindu. Perhaps he was born in a Hindu family, but there was something, maybe his mother became pregnant while she was unmarried, so she gave up the child. So a Muslim couple, they took care of him. They became his mother and father. So both the Hindus and Muslims were his devotee. And when Kabir left his body, His dead body was lying there, and both his followers, Muslims and Hindus, they were fighting among each other. Hindus were saying we will burn his body because he was a Hindu, and Muslims were claiming that we will bury him because he was a Muslim. The body was kept in a place, in a room somewhere. So finally, when they entered that place, they found that there was no body, only some flowers were there. So the Muslim buried that flower and the Hindus burned it. But in the Hindu rituals, when the body is burnt, it is reduced to ashes. In some places maybe 3 days, in some places the next day in the morning, they collect the ashes of the dead body, which is called flower. When everything is burnt, what remains is pure thing, which you can call flower. And if you see people who do their sadhana in the burning ghat, the Aghoris and those people, Nagas and all those sadhus who remain in the burning ghat, they, even in very chilly winter season, they don't wear clothes. They are just, their whole sadhana is around fire, and they will put ashes in their body. That closes the pore of the body so they don't feel much cold. But that ash is called flower also. And if a person is enlightened, that ash is collected and that is used for making samadhi, where you can go and meditate. Is it all, or there is something more?
That is all, Swami. That's all.
So you understood or not?
Understood, Swami.
What you understood?
Understood that consciousness is one, and understood that spirituality sadhana is to purify until we are not identified with the body, mind, the world, but we are just pure consciousness.
When you say purify, it is not that consciousness can be purified. You have to know your real nature. Once you are not identified with anything else, that is a state of purification. When you are saying that something has to be purified, that means you can improve upon God. It is already pristine, pure, perfect.
There has been bombs have been found in election in Bengal, and one of the EVM machine, they have thrown it into water, and one somewhere there have been a lot of violence there. Someone's head has been broken, someone was being beaten. The agent of BJP was tied into a pole, and then he was being beaten. So so many things are happening. too much violence in Bengal. Then this idiot Subramaniam Swami was praising Mamta monster. I think maybe after the election there can be president rule there. It needs very deep cleansing. Without violence, it cannot be changed. The people, she has invited all those Bangladeshis and Rohingyas to increase her vote bank. They have made pseudo counterfeit Aadhaar cards. But this time, because it's quite strict, there are so many police and paramilitary and all those things. So they are doing all those violence. Mostly, I think they are all Muslims who are doing all those things. They are the goons of our party. So if you think that things will change, nothing changes, neither in the outside nor in the inside. If you don't struggle, if you are just trying to avoid things like ostrich, nothing happens. You have to face the brute, encounter it, whether it is the inner brute or the outer brute. If you are running away, that is what happened in life of Vivekananda. He was in certain temple, he went there, perhaps it was in Banaras. So, because in every temple of, especially in Hanumanji's temple, there are a lot of monkeys all waiting, because Hindus offer sweets and laddu to Hanumanji and the monkeys like that. So when people come out of the temple, they give something to the monkeys. But all these animals, whether monkeys or dogs, they are very much against uniform, especially the robe of the sannyasin. Maybe that brim, the color may be that. Maybe that is the test, existential test for the sannyasin, that whether you are really a witness or not. So the monkeys started following Vivekananda. He started running little fast. So they also started following him more vigorously. So he started running more fast. So they also increased their speed. Then Vivekananda realized that this is not the way. If I run more fast, then they will become more ferocious. So it turned back and looked into their eyes and just remained still there. And they also became still. And they ran away, because they were not expecting that he will not be afraid. He will become totally still, and started looking into their eyes. So he sat there, and I remembered reading him. I liked that. I think the name of the small booklet was Clarion Call to Nation or something, which was the first booklet I read of Vivekananda. And I was at that time, I felt like I will not even give it this book in millions of, if someone gives me millions of rupees. Though it was just 2 rupees, 3 rupees book. It was just a small booklet, 30, 40, 50 pages, something like that. But that changed my life, that book. So Vivekananda's, that the quotation was there, he said, face the brute, don't run away. In that very book, because something happened in my childhood because of other people, I was always in depression. I felt like I have done some sin, so I wanted to commit suicide. So I read in that very booklet that The wall, they never commit any sin. Cows, they don't commit any sin. But the wall will always remain a wall. Cow will always remain a cow. A man can commit sin, but he can become divine also. He is potentially divine. He can go beyond all sins. So that gave me the inspiration that my life is not wasted. I can move from being a sinner to being a spiritual person or being a man who goes beyond all sins. Once you come to know yourself, your past disappears. You are like the snake. Once it leaves its old skin, it never looks back. So sin is nothing. It means forgetfulness. You don't know yourself. So that is the reason. That is what I was saying. You are becoming like a stone. Forgetting is not going to solve your problem. That will take your consciousness lower and lower. Remembrance, knowing your real nature. What is your remembering your real nature? The very word remember means to make it member again. Whatever you have forgotten, you have just forgotten. You have not lost it. It is not paradise lost. You have not lost it. It is always here now. You have just forgotten. Okay then.
Okay, Swami.
I am also involved in my work.
Yes, yes.
I don't consider Osho as a person. Osho is in everyone, in Modi, in me, in you. So
Yes, yes.
I cannot limit myself that Osho is working through
Yes.
Modi now.
Yes, yes.
Because Osho is not a person. Osho is the positive energy, the creative energy. So if you confine him in a person, then you will become fanatic. Okay?
Okay, Swami.